Welcome to another episode of the Fresh Blerd Air podcast. I am your host, Black Thanos. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. I am joined today by the one and only. Introduce yourself.
Concrete Creations, also known as Will.
Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So tell the people about what you do.
So I'm a cosplay and prop maker. I started my cosplay journey without even knowing I was starting my cosplay journey. I was actually 16 at the time, working at a camp where they kind of put half and half of the camp go each other. And during that time, we would either make paintings for to represent the teams or do skits. The skits involved us making costumes for the kids. So at that time, I'm over here making Gambit and Wolverine claws and all that stuff out of cardboard and stapling clothes together. And not knowing that it was called cosplay at the time, I was building that stuff. And then from there, it just went on to making props. I started noticing as a cosplayer that if I wanted certain props, I would either get them incorrectly done or not done in a way that I was happy with. So I took it upon myself to take what I learned during the time that I was working in a camp and after school program and put it into use, making a business for myself. And, I was blessed enough to have an after school program where I had a mentor who showed me that there was a lot of more possibilities than just hanging out on the streets. And that's why I learned my art. That's why I learned my craft. That's how I learned how to make things little by little. I started getting into making stuff out of foam, out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
It became a passion, something that I had. And at one point I was saying to myself, I'm not going to sell my art. And realizing that is something that I should do instead of doing just a 9 to 5 like I usually do something that I love and that I care about and make it work for me. So here I am, I don't know how many years later, since 1996 till now, 3D printing stuff, making stuff out of foam and cutting things out of wood and making props for other people that fits my standard and doesn't pass my standards and make other people happy.
Yeah, I've always been, intrigued and interested when it comes to prop making and everything because I know it's my, I guess, a quote unquote dream cosplay that I would like to have, which would be Kento of Hard Rock from Ronin Warriors.
Yeah.
And I know that his weapon is like a 3-section staff, like with a spear. That's the a prop that I would definitely like to put with the costume.
Yeah, you'd be surprised with a lot of stuff that people do. Like something like that. Like I always tell the person that either contacts me through DMs or sees me at the convention, I'm either willing to help them do something or learn themselves if they can afford it, or they
Hmm.
could run their ideas with me and I'll be honest with them. If I can make it, I can make it. If I can't, I can't. Um, I like I said, I've been taken so many times before where I've been told, yeah, I can make such a simple what I thought was a simple weapon, and a year or two later go by and they disappear. So it's something like that. If you want to learn, yeah, hit me up. I'll go with you step by step. You know what I'm saying? If that's something you have time to do, or if you don't, then we could talk and we could see what can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? A three-ball staff with a spear in it. It sounds simple enough. It depends
Hmm.
how the person wants it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want the spear just to pop out of nowhere, then it gets more a little technical. But you know, it's things that's a challenge. I think that's what drives me is the challenge. The challenge that's presented to me, and it's like, hey, can you make this? It's almost like a dare to me.
Hmm.
Every prop that I take that's new, that's something that I haven't done, it's pretty much, hey, I dare you to make such and such thing, and I'm always up for a dare. You know what I'm saying? There's no challenge too big for me.
Has somebody brought something to you that in your mind, like, I know I probably cannot do this because there's a lot that's like attached with it.
Yes, but it never went through because a person stopped coming towards me after I told the price of it.
Mhm.
but it was a scythe. I forgot from one anime. It was like a computer generated anime, and the scythe turns into a gun.
Oh wow.
And I was like, okay, give me some time. Let me see what I could do. Let me see if I can even find a file. Because I'll be honest with you, not every file a person 3D prints is theirs. Sometimes you're lucky enough to
Mhm.
find it online. So I did find one online. It was over 300 pieces and put together in a way where it's not glued in one piece. It had to be convertible into a gun. And I found it. I told the person the price, and she wasn't feeling it. A lot of people think that you could do a Thanos snap and things appear.
Mhm.
And it's not like that. The bad part of it is that it is a lot of work, and not work is not cheap, especially in my industry. I learned a lot that after all this pandemic stuff and whatnot, a lot of the prices went up. So we have to accommodate for that. And then what something will take like $30, $40 or $50 to buy supplies, yeah, it's not going to charge you $50. It's going to charge you that and plus your time working on it. You have to pay
Right.
yourself at the end of the day. I'm one that also, if I make something, I I always tell a person, hey, if I'll make this and when I give it to you, if something was to happen and it's to a point that it's my fault for my being creative and the way I worked and if something broke on that purpose, send it back to me. I'll fix it for you. No charge, nothing. Um, if I give you something and let's say you drop something on it and you break it, send it back to me. I'll fix it to you too, but I'll charge you because it was your problem that you broke. But
Mhm.
I'm not hesitant to fix it. I'm always backing on my props. Any cosplay I do is always gonna stand with that. Like people tell me, yo, but how long can you do that? It's not about how long can you do that. Is how long am I going to keep that up because I back my props up 100%.
Mhm.
What I'm saying? I can't give something out to somebody and be like, I'm done. I got her money. I don't care. It's not that way. A lot of people tell me, well, you're charging $50 for this, but I could go over here and get it for 35. That's fine, but you don't have the guarantee of that I'm giving. Where my props, my stuff that I make, is something that I put in high standards for myself. If I don't like it, I won't give it to you.
Mhm.
If it breaks, I'll fix it. They're not going to do that for you. If it breaks on their half or they put a wrong stitching or wrong bolt and that bolt happens to snap, they ain't gonna care less. They got what they wanted. They got your business, they got your thing, and that's it. Like it doesn't matter. I want people to come back to me. I want people to be returning customers, and thank God it's happened. I've had people come back to me for several pops. I've had one girl order like about 6, 7 blades from me. She's in the process of now of asking me to have one that lights up and a light up katana where a katana doesn't have a lot of space to put batteries in it.
Yeah.
But that's something that I have to go and I, as a creator, I have to figure it out. And again, it comes down to that's kind of there. Like it was pretty much as hey, give me a light of katana, but I want nothing to show that it has a battery inside. Like how small can you put in a battery? And I'm not great right now at doing electronics, so I can't like okay, I could do it and put two AA batteries here. No, I have to go to Amazon and buy the lights, buy the batteries, and try to figure it out. So build around all the electronics. I have to build everything around that in order to make it work.
Mhm.
So it's something.
Uh, no, go ahead.
No, it's just something that it's a challenge. It's just you have to push yourself every day to exceed. Like you can't just stay there and be like, "Oh no, I can't make that happen." No, it just for me is not. I'm not with that. I need to push myself, and I need to make it. I need to make sure that what I do exceeds my level and exceeds theirs,
Mhm.
and make them come back.
That's because that's with any business. Like, you want them to come back. You want them to be satisfied. You don't want them to, give you bad reviews, because when you get bad reviews, you know, that makes your business look bad and you're not able to
Yep.
make money. And then
Yep.
that's how some people, most businesses go out of business because you can't get, can't make money, and you got to make
Yeah.
money to stay afloat.
And that's part of the whole thing where I say, something goes wrong, just don't be afraid to hit me back up and, hey, this broke. I'll fix it. If it's something that it was on my behalf that caused it to break, send it back to me. Like, I'll fix it, no problem. I'll even I'll ship it out with no problem. If I have to drive, I've driven props 100 and something miles away before because it was too expensive for the person to ship it out. Like, I'm based in New York. The prop cost, it
Hmm.
was going to cost me about $200 to send to the person. And I told the guy, hey, give me $100, pretty much covers my tolls and gas, and I'll drive it to you. And sure enough, I did it. I woke up. So I'll never forget that day. That was a scary ass drive, waking up at 3 in the morning just to get to the person by 5 because his convention was at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
So it's
Speaking of
it's it's
conventions, now go ahead.
it's just something that I have to put forward. I have to build my company on those views and those things that I had to put there because I have to step out and be different from everybody else.
Hmm.
Is what makes my name stand out, and hopefully it is standing out. So far I haven't had nothing go wrong on any of my props. Like I would.
Getting back to some when you was talking about the person had to be at a convention, you was at uh, Blerdcon. How
Yeah,
was your experience?
it was dope. It was dope. Like, I went there nervous because the first year I was gonna go to Blerdcon was 2020,
Hmm.
unfortunately. And during that time, there was like this whole thing about a cosplay winning a contest, and it wasn't fair, and it was like so much
Oh
like
yeah.
negative, yeah, so much negative thoughts was coming my way. I'm like, damn, but I don't want to go over there and feel left out. Um, and COVID hit, so I canceled my hotel, I canceled the tickets, and it was up till just recently this BlerdCon that I went, and man, you guys are ridiculous. Like, BlerdCon showed me so much love.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
it was the first time I went to BlerdCon, and I was saying earlier, first time I vended anything. Had a few props. I was even embarrassed with the props because I was like, damn, I don't have so much inventory. I have just these two items, and then whatever I got, and I only have X amount of items. Would even make an
Hmm.
impact with everybody being there and having so much things on the table, and I'm just here with two items. And
Yeah.
Friday came. By the time Saturday came, I had like one item of my chocolate blaze that I make that light up, which is, I have to say, I'm probably the only one that's make those chocolate blaze that light up, that small at least, and like 4 or 5 headbands that I was doing the weed plant logo on it.
Hmm.
And Saturday came and I was like, like, I don't have anything else. This is it. Like, I'm literally tapped out the first day, and I was taken back. Even after the convention, people were hitting me up, and it's to a point that I'm making Blerdcon one of my go-to cons, and I'm hopefully trying to do a vendor again next year.
How was I guess, well, in that era, that space, it was a lot of, it was real cold. The air was great. The air conditioning was great in that area.
It was at sometimes, like,
Hmm.
once the like, you probably got it because I was in the bottom floor in the little auditorium area that was there,
Hmm.
and when it was closed, that everybody was setting up, it was getting cold. So you might have gotten there when it had just opened, that it kept cold, because after a while that AC was no longer even existing. Like, it felt like the elevators. I don't know, you knew what the elevators felt like, but
Oh
the
yeah.
elevators was crazy.
Yeah. That's like always been, as every time I've been, it's like that's always a big thing that
Yeah,
that
it's
sucks.
it's funny because when I get there, the first thing I hear with my brother was, well, I hope the AC's not like last year. They fixed it, and we both looked at each other and like, oh man, the stories you're gonna be telling about the elevators. And sure enough, man, if it wasn't for a couple people wearing like cologne and stuff,
Hmm.
it was potent. it was it was an exception, but it was like, like, but that's every con. It's not just Blur. Every con is like that.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. It's true.
it's like you need to walk around. Sometimes I feel like I want to walk around with a little spray and like just walk about. But I was blessed enough to get a room last minute and at the convention, so that was a plus.
Like, how is it when you have all? I guess like when you bring everything up there, you have to like take it to your room and then bring it down and set up, right?
Well, this time around, like I said, this was my first time vending. This time around, my stuff, funny enough, was as much as I brought, fit into three small boxes. Like I could carry them.
Hmm.
But because I was helping my friend from Mass Dad Workshop, it was all his foam supplies. So he had rolls of foam. And at first I had to bring it to the room and then
Hmm.
kind of figure it out because I wasn't, it was Mass Dad Workshop. It wasn't Concrete Creations. It wasn't my vendor spot. It was his and he was sharing it with me. So I wasn't sure if I could come in for him and get his badges or stuff like that. So when he spoke to the guy was like, yeah, he could go get his badges. So I got the badges. The guy goes, your Concrete Creations? Like, yeah. He's like, all right, let me go tell you where your floor layout is. So he showed me the layout. He goes, well, like, so then I was like, well, they coming here, they're getting here at 3 o'clock in the morning. Is that something that we could set up then? Or he goes, well, I'll have it open, but if you want, you guys can start bringing stuff down. So we
Hmm.
we, we had everything in the rooms. I think it was like 12 garbage bags, black garbage bags, full of foam, and we brought all that down and just build whatever shelves, build whatever we could, and put it there. And then the next morning they came in and kind of organized it the way they wanted it. For me, it was
Okay.
just for me it was just throw a tablecloth, lay my stuff out with my business cards, pin whatever little signage I had because it was like a last minute thing, so I didn't have like a big banner. I
Hmm.
had like a 12 by 18 sign on my logo, pinned to my table, and then went about my day.
How did you come up with the name?
So the name, even though it's spelled differently, when I was 16 years old, I have a grumpy face, right? So,
Hmm.
but at heart, I'm not a grumpy person. Like I look at and I don't. It's like a dog that doesn't bite, barks and bite, doesn't bite. You know what I'm saying? So, there is a comic book character called Concrete, which is just a stone giant Goliath, Golif type of thing, but he's gentle. And in the cover, it shows him. One of the covers, it shows him with a bird on his finger, like looking at him. And somebody came out and said, "Oh, you look like Concrete," and it stuck with me. Since I
Hmm.
was 16, it stuck with me. So I'm like, all right, I guess that's my name. People keep calling me that. My mentor, because I lost my father at a young age, at 10, when he took me off the streets and showed me how to do art and told me that, I have more than just hanging out in the streets. He was a big firm believer of spirit animals. His spirit
Right.
animal was a red fox. Um, every time he did a painting, Marvel Comics, whatever, any dope painting, Sin City, he would sign his paintings, but not with his name, but with a fox.
Right.
And he would hide it, so it would be a game. It was like everybody who kind of learned under him would have to look for the fox to know if it was him that painted it.
Hmm.
And he passed away a couple years back. God rest his soul. And I owe that man a lot. Like if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be, to be honest. And to pay tribute to him, I ended up changing my logo, which looked like I was a cement company. I had so many people hit me up for the cement company because of my name, Concrete. Um, that it kind of dawned on me like, damn, it would be dope if I had a red fox as my logo and kind of pay
Hmm.
tribute to him. So it went from a variation, just it was just a red fox logo staring up on top of my name, and then it went to well, I kind of want to have something more modern and something that kind of tells them, hey, these are the tools I use to make my stuff. It's not just whatever. And I ended up coming up with the fox that I have now, which is where if you look at it, his tail has like a Dremel, a heat gun, a scalpel, like a exacto knife and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like that. It's been like that for about 2 years now, and I don't think I want to change it anytime soon. I've even come to a point where now I'm about to start printing a gravestone. The gravestone that I'm printing is actually a red fox, and I plan to speak to his family, which they gave me the okay, and I'm going to place it on his grave.
Oh, that's cool. That's what's up. Respect, respect.
Yeah.
Do you have any like when you make things, do you have any other inspirations that help you, make props and stuff?
My kids, believe it or not, like my son Kalel, one of the props that I make that I still make here and there is an Among Us lamp, and he was very into Among Us. I'm not sure if you ever played the game,
Mm-hmm.
but in Among Us, you have a group of people or a group of little astronauts, and one of them is kind of one or two, depending on the game type you play, is a bad guy. So he pretty much goes around murdering people, but you have to do it kind of hidden. So one of the kill scenes when he kills another Among Us is they split in half and have like a big bone in the middle.
Yeah.
So I ended up making that and turning the bone inside into a light. So I made that one, posted it on Instagram, and little did I know people was gonna be, hey, that looks cool. Do you sell these? I'm like, yeah, I could sell it. I have the file. Like, why not? Yeah, can
Mm-hmm.
you make this? Can you make this? Can you? So it just started coming in. So I was making random ones with different hats. Then it became, hey, can you make it Among Us Rock Lee? Like, yeah, challenge accepted. I got you. Hey, the same person comes back. Can you do a Gara? I got you, no problem. Recently, after a year later, she hits me up. Can you make me a Dragon Ball Z one? I'm like, yeah. Which one you want? She's like, well, I want Goku. And knowing me, she knows how I am. I'm like, well, I can make you Goku, but I don't want to just make it a random Goku character. I want to make it extra. She goes, what do you mean? Like, well, besides the bone lighting up, let's make his hair light up.
Ah.
She's like, she was like, yeah, so we could do that. She's like, what colors you was thinking? I'm like, I'm thinking about all four. So now the hair, everything is printed out in the process of painting it, which I'll post once I'm done. But the hair will light up yellow, red, blue, and white. And then to pay tribute to Goku Rose, or Rose, whatever you want to call them, the bone is gonna light up pink.
That's cool. That is
Yeah,
cool.
so that's the one I'm working on now. Besides a couple more chakra blades that I have.
Do you have any dream props you would like to make?
Yes, I'm a big fan of Mega Man. One of my first cosplays with my son, which I was fucking huge. I was proud, and sorry for cursing. I was proud. He wanted to cosplay with me at New York Comic Con, and he didn't know what. And I pitched to him at 5 years old, let's do Mega Man. And he's like, all right, Dad, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So he was Mega Man, and I cosplayed Dr. Light.
Oh, that's
And,
cool. That's what's up.
and the dopest moment I had there was, at 4 or 5 years old, you're not going to walk your child from the parking lot in New York 5 blocks to get to a convention, then have him with an armor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all the armors in my hand. Get to the convention, I'm putting him on, and my son is staring. He goes, Dad? I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's a lot of people taking pictures of us. I'm like, this is what it's about. Let him take pictures. Me not understanding what's going on, like I just wanted to get his costume on so he could start moving.
Uh-huh.
I turn around, and the guy goes, dude, that was the best thing I ever seen. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, do you not know that you're Dr. Light building Mega Man at the moment? I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, like I see that. And it was one of the dopest moments. The bad part about that one was it took him about 2 hours to kind of quit, because at that point, that was a year Comic Con became way too many people for Kids Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kids Day was like another Saturday. And if you go to any convention, Friday and Saturdays are the days. So it took him 6 more years to come back to me and be like, Dad, I want to cosplay again. I was like, excuse you? He goes, yeah, but now he wants to be Chainsaw Man.
Oh.
So I'm like, all right, I got you, Khalil. We doing Chainsaw Man, and that is gonna make it work. Where I'm gonna see if I can make your chainsaws work. So for Anime NYC, which is in November, and Jacob Jab Center, he will be Chainsaw Man. Hopefully with the chains working. And I fell in love with a bomb demon that's in the anime and the manga.
Mhm.
But the bomb demon is a female. So this will be my first gender bend, and I'm actually excited about it. I think I can make it work, and it won't be the bomb demon that everybody knows. It's gonna have like I'm gonna make it my own. Like I do for a lot of things, and I notice I think a lot of things that I do on my own become very successful. Like I've done
Mhm.
the apocalyptic Luigi, it was very well taken in. I did the Waluigi, that one was well grabbed in as well. And my biggest one yet was Akatsuki Homer, which I showed you the
Oh
picture.
yeah.
And that one by far, I never had anything go viral. Sadly, it wasn't on my page that went viral, but it was on somebody else's page, and he actually found me afterwards. And I look at his views, and it's over 6 figures in views the last time I checked, 5 figures in likes. And I'm like, well, yeah, you got me now. Tag me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want that traffic my way. I
Mhm.
got some of the traffic, but not all of it. But it was something that I couldn't walk. It was a different type of vibe. Like, it felt like when I did my Luigi, but this one was like every 2 or 3 steps that I was doing, um, it was being stopped. Hey, can I take a picture? Hey, can I take a picture? And
Yeah.
it was cool because it was like people would laugh. And I said to myself last year, like, well, this is the year that I'm just gonna have fun. If I'm gonna cosplay, I'm gonna cosplay something that nobody's ever seen. I don't want to be attention to details, or this is not how they look, or this is no. I don't want none of that. I want something that was so crazy enough and so out of the box that if you see it, you laugh, and because you laugh, I'm gonna enjoy it. And if you get mad, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy it too because it got you so mad that I'm actually smiling about it. You know.
Yeah.
So Homer was one of them. Homer was like a huge one for me. That it was a big win. Like I've worn it. I usually don't wear my cosplays that much. Like probably two or three conventions and that's it. Very rare that I'll take it out again. I wore it for Anime NYC, well deserved, taken in. I wore it for Katsucon the same way. I was gonna bring it for Blerdcon, but I felt like I wasn't gonna because I was vending. I wanted to focus more on vending. But if I
Mhm.
would have brought it to Blerdcon, I think that would have it would have been well taken as well. The same thing with my Luigi. My Luigi was something that people never seen before. Like I had makeup on, my eye was blown out, like it was all white, scarred, like Bowser scratched me, and people were loving it, and I was loving it. I did had a couple ones where I mentioned to you where people actually show a lot of hate towards it, which was my Choji. I had did an Ambu Choji just to be different because the idea was to have random cosplayers that cosplay Naruto characters become humble,
Mhm.
and I did it. And a lot of people at a certain convention was like, "Oh, that never happened," and blah blah blah. I like, well, it happened now. I mean, you seen me. I'm part of the Ambu clan,
Yeah.
and them showing me that much hate just made me smile. And because of those certain people is because I started making these weird ones and these out of the box views of these characters, and I'm not gonna stop. It's just gonna keep getting more weird and more funnier, and that's how it's gonna be from now on.
Have you ever had any, I guess, movie inspirations to things you put together?
I done a set of Loki blades from the Disney show Loki,
Mhm.
and that one was an interesting one because a girl liked pink, and she liked pink and purple. So she wanted me to make the blades he had in the show, and she wanted me. It was from the movie, I think. 'Cause he had two blades in the show. I didn't see him with two blades, and she wanted me to make them light up, so I made a set of light up Loki blades, light up pink with purple handles on it. I've done Thor's hammer a long time ago, and from video games, I've had a lot of Mortal Kombat ones. I had Shao Kahn's mallet.
Hmm.
I had I forgot his name, the blind dude. Not Kenshi, is it Kenshi? I'm not sure. What's his
It's
name?
Kenshi.
It is Kenshi, right? Yeah, I
Hmm.
had his sword made. I had a couple swords made from Samurai Showdown. A lot of swords were made during that. A lot of things that I've done for games and movies is usually like the weapon props.
We're gonna get this is the point of the interview. We'll be getting into five random questions.
Yeah,
Musical inspirations.
I'm into everything. I'm into everything. I think I find like rock to be more adrenaline rushed. Like that's something that if I feel myself in a funk and I feel myself procrastinating a lot, I put that on, and it just builds that rush and it's like, okay, let's get it done. Um, but it really depends on the day. It depends on the day I'm in. I'm into R&B, hip hop. Biggie Smalls and Tupac is one of the people I like to listen to. I
Hmm.
think they were out of the box. Like their styles of rapping was something different to me. Wu Tang Clan is a big one for me. Method Man is huge on my end, and ODB. But again, it depends on the day. It depends on the day and on the field that I'm in.
Hmm. DC or Marvel?
Both. But if I have to choose one, I don't know if you got the name of my son, where I named him Kal-El after Superman. So
I see
I'm
what
gonna
you did there.
I'm gonna have to stick with DC, I guess.
Flash or Quicksilver?
Flash.
Which one?
Which Flash? You got me there. Which Flash? They all good. I like all of them. Does it have to be any? It has to be comic book, or it has to be like the TV series. I like the OG Flash. I
I
like the one
mean,
with the metal helmet going
oh,
on.
the Jake. Yeah,
I'm not good with names, so you know, I like Barry. I like. There's a couple villains too that I like from the Flash universe, but any Flash, I like all. I like all of them. There's no preference. They all cool, different in a way. They're the same and different at the same time.
favorite place to travel.
So far, I've only traveled the states for the most part. There's only one place I ever traveled overseas, and if I could live there, man, I'll live there. Japan.
I'm still waiting. I'm still my brother went there twice, and every time he went, I couldn't go because I
Man,
didn't have enough
I,
time.
I went and I didn't want to come back. Like I didn't want to come back. I was upset coming back to the states, but I'm planning to go next year with my son, my youngest. Hopefully, my oldest son goes with me too. But so far, my youngest is the one that's showing interest.
Hmm. And last one, what was your best experience at Blerdcon this year?
My best experience at Blerdcon, besides the night parties, was being a vendor, man. Selling out first day. That's not gonna go out of my head in a long time. Like I was shocked, man. I was shocked, thrown over, like blown away, and with the amount of love that the Blerdcon showed me as a first time vendor, it just can't top any more experience. I don't even care what con I've gone to and been cosplayed and been taking so many pictures. Like at one point, Homer was my top thing ever. I
Hmm.
have to say, Blerdcon took that out, showing me so much love as a vendor and showing me my potential of being a vendor. I think that's the best thing that's happened to me, and the best is gonna happen to me in a long time.
That's what's up. I'm glad you enjoy yourself. I hope to see you again next year.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Next year, I'm trying to get the vendors table too. So hopefully, I got more stuff too. I'm already starting our inventory just to have stuff for next year.
Well, that's been another episode of the Fresh Blurred Air podcast. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. I am on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. See you later.
See you later.